So in this video, I'm going to cover off the safe isolation of a single phase distribution board. So first thing to do, make sure we've got all our kit ready. It's all right, there's nothing wrong with it. GS38 approved, test instrument is there. I've got my lock with a unique key, lock off device, label and any tools that I'm going to require to undertake the task. So the first thing I'm going to check is I've got an indicator that shows the board is actually powered up, so I know there is power into the board, and I can see I've got distribution board 2, distribution board 1, and I can identify here that this board is fed from down here, so I can actually isolate this at this distribution board so there are no live conductors in there when I remove the basic protection, when I take the cover off. So I've identified where I'm going to do it, get permission from whoever your site supervisor is. So I've got permission, and I'm going to turn off the loads. So when I switch this breaker down here, I'm not switching it on load, so that there are no loads going through it. So I've identified where the best place is, which is distribution board 2. Turn that off. Insert my breaker lock with my lock and label, as we've done in all the other videos. Unique key goes into my pocket. So now I'm fairly sure. See, there's no indicator, the lights aren't working. So we can now safely remove this cover with a fairly good understanding that there are no live conductors inside there. So check my instrument with my proving unit to make sure it's working as ever. Yes, it is. And identify the termination. So I've got my main neutral incomer, my main line incomer, and my earth bar. So as ever, same sequence: earth to neutral, earth to live, neutral to live, all 0 indications. Just check that we're okay. Yep, that's fine. So I'm now absolutely certain that I've de-energized this board. It's quite safe to work on inside this board. These incomers are in fact turned off. Right, so now we just reverse the process to put it all back together again. So once I'm complete, first thing to do is replace my cover. Ask permission before I remove any locks, so I'll assume I've been given permission. So key back out, undo my lock, and at this stage note that my breakers in distribution board 2 are still in the off position, so I'm not switching any load when I turn this on. So I can turn the circuit on, close up distribution board 1, and turn these on one at a time. And you can already see my indicator has come back on, my lights now work, so I've re-energized the circuit, gone all the way through the process. That's how we do a single phase distribution board. So this time I'm going to look at isolating the lighting circuit, which we can quite clearly is turned on and energized. So it's good practice. Make sure it is working. So first thing I'm going to do is actually turn it off. Check all my kit. So I've got my proving unit, I've got my lock, my MCB lock, and my GS38 test instrument, and any tools I'm going to need before I make a start on the circuit. So first thing, I'm going to identify where the best place is, and I can find I've got a lighting circuit. So I'm going to turn off my circuit breaker and apply my lock and label, same as in my other safe isolation tests. So I'll put that into there, lock it off, unique key goes into my pocket. It's nice and safe. Just a quick check. I'm fairly sure that's turned off, but now I'm going to prove that I have indeed undone it. So I'll just take the cover off. And I need to identify where the terminations are. So I can see back there that my CPC connects there. I can see my brown and my blue going in. So there are obviously terminations. Oh, there's one. So there must be another one at the top, which I can see up there. So I've identified where my terminations are. Let's just check our test instrument is indeed working. It is. Make sure it's not damaged. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not cracked or broken. No, I'm happy with that. Make sure the circuit is actually energized if it was live, because otherwise I'm just checking and found out that it's turned off. So the same sequence, CPC to neutral, which is in there, that's fine. CPC to live, which is there, and then live to neutral, which is under there. That's still okay. Let's just recheck to make sure everything is fine. Yes, it is. So I've actually proved that I've de-energized it, not just turned it off. So that's a quick, easy way to check that. So now we'll reverse the process. I'll put the cover back on. I'll turn my switch off before I re-energize. Even though these will operate on load, we will turn it off anyway. I can now unlock, obviously asking permission from whoever your site supervisor is. I can now re-energize that, check the circuit. Yes, it's working. So I know how to safely isolate and prove that it's de-energized that lighting circuit. So what I want to do in this video is take you through the isolation of the power circuit, and we can see that we've got distribution board 1, it's quite clearly labelled, which tells me this must be distribution board 2. So I can look there, I can see that there's only one power circuit, and before I do anything I can plug in my little test plug and make sure that I turn that on. I've got an LED lit up, tells me that that circuit is indeed energized. So let's identify where it is, and I can see, tells me which it is. I've got the socket circuit. At this point you need to get permission, so I ask permission. I'm going to turn this circuit off, so de-energize it, then get my lock and my label. Multi-lock if you want to use a multi-lock. In this case I'm not going to, because I know it's only myself. Goes into there, my lock and my label go in, and I secure them, and the key goes into my pocket. I haven't put any information on that for today, but if you were working down a corridor you would put your contact details on that as well. So I can see that's gone off, but I've got to prove that this is in fact de-energized. So with my test instrument, yeah, I can see that that's working, and I can identify the 3 terminations. Also making sure that the socket itself is energized if that is in the off position, I'm not actually proving that this is de-energized. All I'm doing is proving that it's turned off. So it must be in the on position. So earth to neutral, that's fine. Earth to line, again that's fine. And neutral to line. No indicators, I'm happy with that. Go back and recheck my instrument. Yes, that's definitely fine. So I've now proven that I have isolated it. It's locked in the off position. I've got the key. It's quite safe to commence work on that. In the next video, I'll look at the lighting circuit and in doing